Well, hello, folks. Thank you for joining us after the premiere of an unsolved murder story. It's the first story of this kind on our channel, but there will be others. I know of. There's either one or two others. This one was recorded in San Antonio, and there's another one we recorded in San Antonio, and may have been. No, there's one other we recorded in San Antonio, and one that we hope to record soon. That was involved in San Antonio. Now we recorded this in San Antonio, but this murder took place in Dallas. Don't get confused with that. I want to thank you all for being here. If there's anyone who is new to the live event, remember that you can. If you're watching on a smart TV, you can still log in with your phone and use the chat feature on your phone to participate in the chat while you're still watching on the smart TV. So I keep looking up that way because right up there is a smart TV in this room. Not that you're going to be watching that one, but that's that's just my thinking. So search and support Nina is here. Thank you for being here. And Annie Peterson is here from Midwest City, Oklahoma. Hello, Annie. Glad to see you here again. I wanted to share with you folks that today is a special day in Texas history. Today is the anniversary of the fall of the Alamo. And it's a date that's just ingrained in my head. Don't know why. March 6th, 1836. What is Mara making? Okay. Hello from New Jersey. Thank you for being here, Mara. Appreciate you joining us. Is this your first live? And I see we have some other people in here. Those of you that are new, feel free to introduce yourself and let us know where you're from. If you're in the United States or in some other country, there is uh, uh, someone named Wolfgang who's in Germany who's been joining the last few live events, and so anyone who joins us is always welcome. No, it's like my third. Okay, well, cool, Laura. I'm fine. Coffee went down wrong. It happens. All right. To the downside of being live, can't just hit stop and stop recording. True 100 Crimecast. Maybe that's over. Maybe. True 100 Crimecast. Uh, I recognize your name from something else. Maybe something I've seen on Facebook. I'm not sure. Brenda says, I hate it when my Diet Coke goes down the wrong pipe. I sound like I sucked helium for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, well that sounds way more entertaining. Uh, yeah. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. My. All right, folks. So we have the storyteller in the room with us right now, and this is our first unsolved murder on our channel. And so let's have a little bit of feedback. What stood out to you guys about the story? What were some most memorable aspects? And Amanda Lay, I'm pretty sure that's the worst. Welcome, Amanda. Very cool that you're with us here. I appreciate it. Amanda is one of our storytellers, and Justice for Armani is one of our storytellers. Search and Support San Antonio, not exactly. Could have been, could have been, but Search and Support San Antonio had a whole bunch to do with the stories that we recorded in San Antonio. So that's, and of course they're in the credits. Look, I did it right that time. Coffee. It's so complicated. Just drinking coffee. When the authority didn't want anything for Robin. Yeah. Brenda says, we are used to the detectives not doing their jobs on the fentanyl stories, but to hear it's happening in murder cases is shocking to me. I don't think the law enforcement commitment to doing their jobs is based on the type of crime. Either they do their job or they don't. That's just the impression I get that it's just become, people, that the fentanyl thing crosses into a broad range of people, and so we hear about things that some groups would have to suffer in silence over, with regard to the quality of service they get from law enforcement or from other public entities that are supposed to be supportive. They shouldn't pick and choose. That's right, Kim. They certainly shouldn't. Also, I believe Armani's death is a hate crime due to race or sexual orientation. Yeah, I think that there's certainly a case to be made for that, and I think maybe there's an angle to that as well. That whether it is an actual element of the crime or not, it's an element of the victim. And so there is an opportunity there to connect with some advocacy groups that are focused on LGBTQ rights or focused on African American rights or whatever. But there are some organizations that are out there that are just aching to fight. It would be eager, I would think, to be involved in Armani's case or not. I don't know, but it seems like there's an angle there. Yes, Kim, people are human beings. That's how it ought to be. It shouldn't make any difference. It shouldn't make any difference what race, sexual orientation, anything. None of that should matter. A person is a person, and they are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights. That's what it says in our Declaration of Independence. And that's just all men are created equal. And in that context, men means all people. Everyone is created equal. In the 1700s and 1800s and 1900s, referring to humanity as man was just a normal way of speaking. It was the standard vocabulary. When Neil Armstrong walked on the moon, he said that's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. And he's saying that's one small step for a human, one giant leap for all of humanity. And it wasn't a matter of some sort of lost a picture. Okay, we got it. It wasn't a part of some sort of prejudicial thing. It was just that was the dialogue. That was the vocabulary then. That was the etiquette. How are families supposed to grieve? That's a great question, Kimberly. That's one of the most torturing parts of this entire the missing series and the unsolved murder stuff. You, you don't understand what happened. You can't if if you don't know what happened. How can you begin to try to resolve things in your brain? It's brutal. Justice for Armani says, thank you, Glenn, for an amazing interview. Armani's mother and I are eternally grateful for the golden opportunity to share Armani's story in hopes that what our family is willing to share will help. Amanda says, hey, Kim, yes, they shouldn't, but they do. And right, Kim, yes, people are human beings. How is it? It's race and LGBTQ related, LGBT related. Shaking my head, so sad. I don't I don't know. The reason why I say I don't know is we've done so many fentanyl stories where the family that lost someone experiences the same kind of disregard from law enforcement. So I don't know. It certainly could be, but we hear about it. Laziness knows no color. Laziness knows no sexual orientation. Lazy's lazy. Robin says Brenda Armani was a victim of personal vendettas by those who knew him very well. Yeah, there is my feeling is that there are people not far away who have a lot of secrets uh, that are protecting the mystery of what happened to Armani. Cindy Bennett, thank you for joining us. How are you doing? Girl says Brenda, haven't seen you in a hot minute. And Kimberly says, Robin, you're in good hands here. Yeah, we have these live events pretty regularly, and they're always they always seem to be a good time. We have some regular suspects that are typically in the room, like Brenda and Kimberly, and eventually Brad is going to be joining us. He's probably putting his teeth in now, and Carla and others. Brenda says, Cindy, crazy busy is way better than bored in my world. Glad you are here. Yeah, busy is better than sitting and doing nothing. Hello, Armani. Hey, Armani. Hey, Kimberly. So, dang it, spelled it wrong again. So, what else stood out to you folks about Armani's story? Sorry, just trying to make sure everything's working good. I'm still here. I'm here. I'm here. And I'm here. Brooke for Bama, just hiding in the bushes. You know, Brooke, we were just in Alabama. Cindy says, I think I've only spelled it correctly once. Yeah, maybe some things you got to just let go. Amanda says, unfortunately, the police here doesn't investigate fentanyl deaths. I begged for help. Unfortunately, friends are sometimes your biggest threat. My heart goes out to the family. I'll pray for justice. Here's another thing. What helps is making noise. See, Robin in the story tonight, Robin was a nuisance and still is a nuisance to law enforcement. But being a nuisance is a way to get action. You don't have to be abrasive. You don't have to be confrontational, but you have to be persistent. You have to keep going back saying, "Hey, well, what's going on now? What's going on now? Where's it at now? Hey, I'm going to talk to this other agency and see what they can things like that." In the case of the fentanyl stories, a lot of times talking to the DEA leads to action by local law enforcement because they get huh, because they get I don't know, embarrassed or they get some pressure from somewhere else. I don't know. Kimberly, Robin May put up some flyers. Justice for Armani says, Kimberly, Armani is my nephew. I helped to raise him as though he was my child. Brenda says, when I'm on a mission, I consider being called a nuisance as an honor. Yeah, I think that it really means you're hitting the target. You know, you're really you're turning up the pressure because there's no you have to. And it seems kind of consistent with regardless of what the investigators are supposed to be working on. It could be a fentanyl story or an unsolved murder or a missing person. That level of wanting to figure it out varies wildly from law enforcement officer to law enforcement officer and from agency to agency. It is kind of contagious. That's been something that has been noticeable to me. And so in an agency where there is a lot of, I guess you would call it, professional enthusiasm, that's contagious. And all the officers kind of have that gung ho positive image. They like compete with each other to see who can be the biggest contributor in the community. Unfortunately, the opposite of that is true too. If officers tend to be negative toward their profession, if they spend all their time thinking, well, they can't make me do that. They keep looking in terms of better ways to avoid work or seem to really just be there so they can work the extra jobs. There's that too. Brenda says, it means I finally have your attention. So now let's get down to the mission complete. Let's get the mission completed so I can go on to the next one. Yeah. And there's definitely, I believe, law enforcement officers who do that. There's also law enforcement officers who have a viewpoint that seems sort of, I'll put in my time, and if we figure it out in the time that I put into it, that's fine. But if I finish it, there's just another one waiting to get dumped on my desk. So if I take my time with it, I'm doing less work. What about bounty hunter locating Armani? That would be interesting. So who else is with us? It is Friday night, folks, and huh, sorry, just checking. I got noises coming up on my phone here, and so I feel like I need to take a look just to make sure I'm not missing something. Just very, very quickly, and I see that all is good. Okay. So, so who else is with us? Our next story, our next premiere, I believe, will be on Monday. And our next premiere, I'm just going to have a look right now. Elizabeth Walker, are you in here? Our next story will be on Monday. Our next premiere, I believe, will be on Monday, or our next live event will be on Monday, and it will be a fentanyl story from Andrea Lee of Bonita Springs, Florida. And that story is a 22-minute story. It'll probably be at 7 o'clock, and we'll be live by 7:25. So that ought to be uh, um, a good event. In this story, in this story, it's about Amanda Harris. Andrea is the storyteller, and Andrea talks about a lot about the mission, about finding purpose, about finding something that makes it possible to keep moving forward after you've lost a loved one. So it's a very insightful story, and I think that I think you guys will really like it. What happened here? Okay, Robin, if your family had the bounty. Justice for Armani. Kimberly Smith. Armani's fragmented skeletal remains were unexpectedly discovered July 24th, 2017. That's that's almost 10 years ago. So what else can we address? Does anybody in the audience have any questions for me about Texas Pictures or about the stories that we cover or how storytelling summits work? Anything like that? We have shared we have some behind the scenes footage, and we've shared that a couple of times. What else? Are there questions for us? Questions for Texas Pictures, or for anyone else in the group, certainly. But questions for us. I see Justice for Armani. Kim, thank you for your thoughts and prayers. Very cool. Glenn, when are you going to be having another cannabis series? It really just boils down to whenever. It really just boils down to whatever storytellers come to the summit and talk about. When we recorded stories about cannabis induced psychosis, we've also recorded stories about fentanyl and about human trafficking at on the same day in the same setting. It really just depends on who comes in. If while we're in Memphis, could be some storytellers talk to us about human trafficking or cannabis or maybe they're all talking about fentanyl. or recovery. It just varies. Justice for Armani says, Cindy Bennett, thank you for your empathy. I certainly appreciate it. What anniversary is today of the fall of the Alamo? What you mean, like what year? You mean you want me to do math? 26, 36. 80th? 180th anniversary of the fall of the Alamo? Is that what you're asking me? Is that the kind of math you're asking me for, Brenda? It's 180 years ago? Yes, when are you going to send me my jacket? Cindy, you're killing me. The jacket. We do have the store up and running on our channel again. We have actually there's two different store services on our channel now. And there is on one store there is a zippered hoodie. It's called the Bradley. I figured you know it since you love the Alamo. Yes, that is what I wanted. Thank you. Yeah, I don't love the Alamo isn't really accurate. The Alamo is an important story. It's an important part of Texas history, an important part of the Republic of Texas. But it's nowhere near the only important part, and it's not the worst. It's not the worst slaughter of Texans during the Texas Revolution. It is there was worse. There was Goliad. And Goliad wasn't even a battle. It was just an execution of over 300 men who surrendered. The battle was at Coleto Creek. They surrendered, and 2 weeks later in Goliad, the Mexican army executed all of them and executed their commander last. So the commander saw all of his men die before dying himself. Yeah, that makes sense. 190 years ago. In 10 years, Texas can have a bicentennial for the Alamo. Really, Brenda? And you need me to spell Goliad, and you spelled it right there. Goliad. It's called the Goliad Massacre. It's not the Battle of Goliad. It would be the Battle of Coleto Creek. But the Goliad Massacre. And so there's buttons. Hoodies don't have buttons. They have zippers or they pull over hoodies with buttons. That's just crazy talk. So the battle at the Alamo and the Goliad massacre became the two battle cries for the Texas Army. The Texian Army is what they were called. They would say, "Remember the Alamo and remember Goliad." But, there was never any movies about Goliad, so the Alamo has become more famous. Is it a hoodie with buttons? No, no, there's no hoodies with buttons. Justice for Armani, Kimberly, I totally agree. God has already worked it out while me and my family are trying to figure it out. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's good. Good job, Robin. Geez, a hoodie with a zipper is called a jacket. Stop it, Brenda. I see what you're doing here. No, a hoodie with a zipper is called a hoodie, or a hoodie with a zipper, or a Bradley. Robin, I can't imagine. Yeah, it's a whole different kind of circumstance. Having a loved one missing or having an unresolved case with no answers about what happened to a loved one, that has to be extra special challenging, extra special tough. Sydney says I'm pushing for buttons too. Well, you're trying to push my buttons. I can see that. I get that, but okay. So a hoodie with buttons on our channel. And someone, I'm guessing you guys are seeing me on our channel. So somewhere under the chat or beside the chat, there ought to be some sort of little preview for some of the stuff that's in our store, and you guys could tell me what you see there because I don't really know. I don't know that what I see is the same as what other people see. I haven't really explored it that way. Goliad is also a city in Texas. Yes, it is. It is a city in Texas. Goliad, after the Battle of Colletto Creek, when the Texian army surrendered, they were marched to Goliad and held as prisoners for about 2 weeks. And the Mexican government authorized the military to treat the Texians not as prisoners of war, but as pirates, and just killed them all. Where is Carla? Well, it's Friday night. It could be Carla's out doing something fun. Maybe she's out shopping for a new walker for her father. Who knows? All right, so I have this button here that I'm looking at. It says engage with your audience. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to click it. It says I could start a question and answer, start a poll, or members only. Wow, there's a button where I could just click on it, and just like that, it is members only. And that's interesting. I suppose. Hello, Risk. Thank you for joining us. Right. That sounds right. It's I you hear different numbers from different sources. I've heard over 300. I've heard 350 to 450. I've heard about 400. And you hear different places, different sources address it slightly different. But I've been there. Uh, I've been I've been to the there's a monument there, and I've been there. That would be rude, especially if your goal is to get new members. Now, I think that the better pathway would be to start a live with it being for members only, and after 15, 20, 30 minutes, however long, then open it up to everyone else. Maybe that would be the way to go. I don't know. I just saw it and had kind of I had heard of it because we get these notifications from YouTube, but I had kind of forgotten it was a thing and until I saw it and there it was. The commander at Goliad, the Texian commander, his name was Fannin, and he was executed last. Kim, I haven't heard of Goliad, but it sure is interesting. I don't appreciate history. I didn't appreciate history when I was younger. It was the battle that ended the revolution, the Texas Revolution, was the Battle of San Jacinto. It happened on April 21st, same year, 1836. And the battle cry there from the Texians was, remember the Alamo and remember Goliad. Cindy says, the zippered hoodie, I have questions. Well, what kind of questions do you have that I can answer? I have not actually ordered a zippered hoodie from our store, so I haven't seen one yet. But we are gonna order one soon. It's not cheap. It's like $50, and the discount code that you have called Live Guys. Brina, no, that's a totally new one for me. Glenn, have you seen the court case in Brooklyn, New York this week the daycare workers where the daycare workers killed a baby with fentanyl? That's terrible. Okay, folks, and as back to our store, if you want to order something, this code, Live Guys, this code should get you like a 25% discount on anything in the spring store. There's two stores on our channel right now. And the other one I don't have a discount code set up for. But we're getting there. The zippered hoodie, the Bradley, this will work. 2017, I think. I don't know what you mean. When did it happen? Oh, 2017. Okay. That's terrible. I believe It seems familiar, though. I believe I have heard about it. So it seems like, certainly, it seems like a thing. So I wanted to tell you guys about, you know, pretty much every morning, my day starts with me going through the comments on our channel and replying to quite a few, giving a heart to quite a few, deleting a few, and for a few, it really is just primarily me looking at them and marveling that someone would write that for whatever reason. Brina is the Bronx in Brooklyn, and finding a case in the Bronx. So Brenda is all about research right now. Huh. Okay, so one of these comments, a commenter said naloxone doesn't last as long as Narcan. Naloxone doesn't last as long as Narcan. A commenter said that with incredible confidence. It wasn't just, that wasn't the whole statement, there was more. The commenter went on to go into how important it is to use Narcan because it lasts longer and it's more effective than naloxone. No, so we have this box of Narcan, and on the side, under, there's this thing on the side. It says drug facts. All drugs have drug facts. It's a regulatory requirement. It says active ingredient in each spray. And there's just one item in that list. Active ingredient in each spray. That one item is naloxone. It's right here on the box. It's also on the front of the box right underneath the brand name, naloxone. It's not, Narcan isn't some special thing that naloxone is not. Narcan is naloxone under its own brand name. It says active ingredient naloxone 4 milligrams. And the purpose is it's an emergency treatment of opioid overdose. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Narcan lasts longer than naloxone, a commenter said. And so it's a little bit funny, but it is important. Tissues are better than Kleenex. Yeah. Or Kleenex is better than tissues. And this is a little bit small. This sprayer right here, this is not Narcan, this is Cloxado. This is also naloxone, same exact stuff as Narcan, which I also have here. It's a Narcan spray, same nasal spray administration thing. The Cloxado has 8 milligrams of naloxone. Narcan and most of the others, all of the others that I'm aware of, have a 4 milligram dose of naloxone. But it's the same stuff, just different doses. 8 milligrams, 4 milligrams. Tissues are better than Kleenex. Yeah. So when I hear someone using the word Narcan when they should be saying naloxone, I I go back to my training in marketing when I was in college, and in marketing, if you can get the consumer to say your brand name instead of what the product actually is, if someone uses the term Coke instead of soda, if someone uses Kleenex instead of tissue, if someone, I don't know, I'm going to run out of examples real quick, but that's a giant victory. So anytime I hear someone say Narcan when they should be saying naloxone, I cringe a little bit because I know there's a marketing guy somewhere going, yeah, got him. But it's at the expense of education. It's at the expense of awareness. Puts a few more lives at risk. If consumers don't know that Narcan is naloxone, Tylenol, well, Tylenol is different from aspirin. Tylenol and acetaminophen or Advil and ibuprofen. Aspirin and, well, aspirin. But this thing about calling naloxone, that's different. See, this spray, this spray right here says Narcan on it, and it says naloxone as well. It has both. This is a Narcan sprayer. This one is Cloxado. It says Cloxado on it, and it says naloxone on it. The common thread between these two is naloxone, and that's all that matters. But I can imagine a couple of friends who are a little bit impaired, and they're at a party, and their their friend is laid out on the floor dying, and they're looking at a package that says Cloxado. It doesn't say Narcan on it anywhere. But Narcan is all they've ever heard. While they're figuring out, well, I don't think this will work. It's not Narcan. It's got this naloxone name on it. Maybe is that the same? No, it doesn't say Narcan. That's not. And their friend's dying on the floor because some marketing guy did a better job about teaching people Narcan instead of naloxone. Brenda says my grandfather used to say he wanted sarsaparilla, he wanted a soda. Why say a long word when a short one will work? Yeah, okay, that's a good argument. That's part of what drives people to use the word Narcan instead of naloxone. Narcan is an easier word to say. It's kind of cool sounding, Narcan. It's even been turned into a verb. They had to Narcan him 3 times before he came to. Narcan him. It's mm, yeah. So I see we have been here almost an hour, folks, and it's going to be about time to wrap it up pretty quick. I can't tell you enough how grateful I am for you guys being here. Always. Always. So, Rena, I bet being allergic to aspirin was pain as a child. Yeah, I imagine so. And I imagine being allergic to aspirin. You had to endure all kinds of extra pain as a child. But Tylenol isn't aspirin. Tylenol is a fever reducer. And Bronx Predator was sentenced to 25 years to life for the baby's death. Good. The Bronx got it right. Bless the family of the fallen baby. Sorry, I missed that one before. Hmm. So I think remember what you take for granted, someone else is praying for. God bless each and every one of you. That is Brenda's special message for us every time she joins us in a live. And when she is not here on those rare occasions when she's not, I try my best to remember to to say it as kind of a way to honor Brenda. Uh, she's special. And it's such an important message. Remember what you take for granted someone else is praying for. Be grateful. Find a reason to be grateful. It's good for you. If you have things that you're grateful for, you're going to attract more things to be grateful for. You attract what you dwell on. Viola, I don't think we've said much to you tonight. Did you? I don't know if you just got here or what, but sorry we missed you. If you said stuff that we didn't that I didn't see or didn't read or didn't hear, so our next live event is going to be Monday night after the premiere of our next fentanyl story. We will probably have a recovery story premiering tomorrow or Sunday. Don't really know which yet. We have the story just about finished, but so we'll let you know. We'll do our usual post notification kind of thing. Good night to everyone and my granddaughter. Love y'all. All good, Glenn. Okay. Anyway, so thank you everyone, and I will wish you all good night as well. Remember that we are here for you. We are always here for you. We are glad to help any way we can. And you can reach out to us anytime at info@texas-pictures.com if you want to email us. Info@texas-pictures.com. You can find us on Facebook by my name, Glenn Muse, or by our company name, Texas Pictures. We have 2 pages. And you can also visit our website to learn more about us, texas-pictures.com. You can find out how to share your story, how to organize a storytelling summit. There's a link to our merchandise store, and there's more information about us, a little bit of our company history, mailing address, phone number, all that kind of cool stuff. So we're here for you. Thank you again for joining us, and we will talk to you guys next time. Good night, folks.